Alright, five fans. Today I'm diving into the UFC and breaking down the most elite skills that make these fighters the best in the game. From Ilia Topuria's crisp boxing to Hamza Chimaev's suffocating wrestling, I'm going to be talking about the why, what makes these fighters so dangerous. Think about Francis Ngannou power, Charles Oliveira's submission game, and Anderson Silva's creativity. I'm covering it all. So whenever you're like a hardcore fan, MMA fan, or you just love watching UFC, this is your ultimate guide to the most dominant attributes in the octagon. Let's get into it. Starting first to the perfect MMA fighter, boxing. Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria has shown crisp technical boxing in MMA, blending speed, precision, and power. His fight against Bryce Mitchell in UFC 282 showcases his ability to land clean combinations and counter strikes effectively. His hands are sharp and he uses his boxing to set up his grappling, making him a well-rounded threat. Moving on to kickboxing, Alex Pereira is a former Glory kickboxing champion and one of the most decorated strikers in combat sports history, not just the UFC, combat sports history. His knockout of Sean Strickland in UFC 276 and his devastating left hook that finished Israel Adesanya in UFC 281 are prime examples of his elite kickboxing skills, and his ability to mix punches, knees, and kicks seamlessly makes him a standout for sure. Moving on to Muay Thai. This is an easy one. This is prime Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo was a Muay Thai machine in MMA. His leg kicks were legendary. We saw his dominance, particularly against Uriah Faber and Chad Mendes. Aldo's abilities to blend knees and elbows in the clinch work with his striking made him one of the most feared strikers in MMA history. Moving on to wrestling, Hamzat Chimaev. Chimaev's wrestling is just relentless, suffocating. His fight against Ling Jing Glian in UFC 267, Gilbert Burns in UFC 73 demonstrated his ability to take down high-level opponents with ease. His chain wrestling and control on the ground are next level, making him a nightmare for anyone in the division. So, and keep in mind how he submitted Robert Whitaker very, very quick. He broke his jaw. Keep in mind. Moving on to BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Charles Oliveira, the Bronx. Charles Oliveira holds the record for the most submissions in UFC history. His BJJ is both offensive and creative, as seen in his fights against Kevin Lee, Dustin Poirier. His ability to transition seamlessly between positions and finish the fights with chokes or joint locks is unparalleled. Moving on to power, Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou is arguably the hardest hitter in MMA history. His knockout of Alistair Overeem and his brutal finish against Stipe to win the heavyweight title are a prime example of this one. His punch, knockout power, even his punches that don't land cleanly have fight-ending potential, which is absolutely insane. Moving on to cardio, and I'm pretty sure 100% of you know what I'm gonna say, which is Merab Dvalishvili. Merab Dvalishvili's cardio is insane. He maintains a relentless pace for 5 rounds, as seen in his fight against Peter Yan, and his ability to change wrestle and pressure his opponents without slowing down is a testament to his incredible conditioning. Moving on to fight IQ, GSP. GSP's fight IQ is legendary. His meticulous game plan for every opponent, as seen in his fights against John Fitch, Michael Bisping. His ability to adapt mid-fight, exploit weaknesses, and stick to strategy made him one of the smartest fighters in MMA history. To chin, Marvin Vettori. Marvin Vettori has an iron chin. That shit's made out of plutonium, whatever the hell. He absorbed heavy shots from Paulo Costa, Israel Adesanya without being knocked out. His ability to eat big shots and keep moving forward is a testament of that iron, plutonium, madonium, metal, whatever the hell you want to call it. That guy has that insane chin and durability. Moving on to physicality. Joel Romero. Joel Romero physicality is otherworldly. His explosive athleticism and strength were on full display in fights against Robert Whittaker, Luke Rockhold. Even in his late 30s, Romero's physique and power were freakish. Moving on to creativity. Prime Anderson Silva. Prime Anderson Silva was a magician in the cage. His metrics like striking, including that front kick knockout of Victor Belfort and the elbow knockout against Tony Strickland, showcase his creativity. Silva's ability to improvise and land unorthodox strikes made him a literal walking highlight reel, which is why he's in my GOAT list. If you saw it, make sure you go check that out if you didn't. Moving on to footwork. Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz footwork is unparalleled. His movement against T.J. Dillashaw and Uriah Faber demonstrates his ability to use angles, feints, lateral movement to confuse his opponents. Cruz footwork is a masterclass in MMA striking. Moving on to clinch work. Jon Duck Jones. Clinch work is Jon Jones' clinch work is just evacuating, man. He uses elbows, knees, dirty boxing in the clinch. Was literally on full display against Alexander Gustafsson, Glover Teixeira. Jones' ability to control and damage his opponents in close quarters is a real key part of his dominance. So, moving on to explosiveness. Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler's explosiveness is literally a hallmark of his fighting style. His knockout of Tony Ferguson and his slam of Patrick Pitbull showcase his ability to explode into takedowns or strikes with incredible speed and power. Moving on to mental warfare. Channel Sonic. Channel Sonic is the king of mental warfare. His trash talk and mind games before fights with Anderson Silva, Jon Jones got under his opponent's skins. So his ability to sell fights and create a narratives. Jeez, I can't say that. Narratives is unmatched, but I hope you guys know what I'm saying. Narratives. There you go. I think I said that right. Moving on to hand speed. Corey Garbrandt. Corey Garbrandt's hand speed is literally lightning fast. His performance against Dominic Cruz showcases the ability to land quick and precise combinations. Garbrandt's speed and timing make him a dangerous striker. Moving on, accuracy. Prime Conor McGregor's accuracy is surgical. His knockout of Jose Aldo in UFC 194 in 13 seconds, keep in mind, and his precision against Eddie Alvarez are prime examples. McGregor's ability to pick his shots and land with pinpoint accuracy is a key and part of his success. Moving on to leg kicks. This is a very, very, very easy one. Edson Barbosa's leg kicks are absolutely phenomenal, devastating. His knockout of Rafael Oliveira with a leg kick and his destruction of Mike Lulo's leg are legendary. Barbosa's ability to chop down opponents with his kicks is a thing of freaking beauty. Moving on to takedown defense. Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo's takedown defense is among the best in MMA history. His ability to stop takedowns from elite wrestlers like Chad Mendes, Frankie Edgar, Merab is a testament of his defensive skills. Aldo's sprawls and balance are world class. Moving on. Striking. It's not striking, but striking defense. Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland's striking defense is underrated, if I'm being completely honest. His ability to use a high guard, footwork, and head movement to avoid damage was on display against his fight against Uriah Hall. It was a very long time ago in UFC Fight Night 193. Strickland's defense allows him to stay fresh and outpoint his opponents. But yeah, striking defense definitely goes to Sean Strickland. Moving on to killer instinct. Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall's killer instinct is evident in his finishes. His quick stoppages of Sergey Pavlovich, Alexander Volkov showcases his ability to capitalize on openings and finish the fights decisively. Michael Jordan has that killer instinct. Tom Aspinall does too. Moving on. Takedowns. I mean, GSP takedowns are textbook. His double leg takedowns against Jaws, Koscheck, and Matt Hughes are prime example of his wrestling dominance. GSP ability to time execute takedowns is second to none. Also, make sure you go check out his record about takedowns. Moving on, submissions defense. Alexander Volkanovski. Alexander Volkanovski's submission defense is rock solid. Pause. His ability to escape dangerous positions against Brian Ortega, Islam Makhachev showcases his composure and technical skills under pressure. Moving on, scrambles. The sad, Tony Ferguson recently retired, so rest in peace to that era. But yeah, scrambles. Tony Ferguson's scramble ability is elite. His fights against Kevin Lee, Edson Barboza showcases his ability to escape bad positions and create opportunities. Ferguson, unorthodox movement and creativity make him a scramble master. And last but not least, grip strength. Pause. Islam Makhachev grip strength is a key part of his grappling dominance, and his ability to control opponents on the ground. I've seen in his fights against Charles Oliveira, Dan Hooker is a testament to his vice-like grip. And there you have it. I've broken down the most elite skills in the UFC, from power and precision to heart and fight IQ. Who do you think deserves the top spot on each category? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications on so you don't miss any more MMA content. With that being said, I'll see everyone very, very soon. Goodbye.